Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Converse podcast. I am your host, Max Stern, and your other host here is Noam. We unfortunately couldn't get Maddie or Melanie
Our
here.
two other losers.
Yes.
We couldn't get them
A
here.
moment of silence for our fallen sisters.
F to pay respects.
Press F to pay respects.
F!
Okay, there we go. We're good. Yeah, okay. So, this episode, we're going to be going back onto the Shane Dawson and Jake Paul, that entire thing. So it's been 3 weeks since we last visited Jake and Shane, and the series has finally ended. It's been like the series took it was on for another week after we uploaded the Converse.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the final episode, Shane finally goes and he sits down and he talks with Jake. And they clear up a bunch of things, and so they sit down in person, they talk about it. They talk about a lot of the things that Jake has done in the past, all the controversy he's gone through, and all that stuff. And then they kind of briefly brush up upon how to fix Jake's channel. But then there's another piece of drama that was kind of thrown in there. And essentially, here's what happened. On April, I think I wrote down the thing here. On September 1st, a YouTube channel called Nerd City, who I personally watch and I know Noam watches.
I love that guy.
They make really well edited content.
They made a video about Jake Paul saying how he's a con artist in the sense that he sells to little kids with the knowledge of abusing their age to buy his stuff, his merch.
And he also abuses, again, their age for views. And there was a lot of examples. One of them is, if you remember, in the Nerd City video, they mentioned one of the things that Jake Paul did. Jake Paul's a YouTuber, Nerd City's a YouTuber, Shane Dawson's a YouTuber. All this stuff is clarified in the previous episode, or episode 1. But Nerd City, Jake Paul uploaded a video, and it was essentially, the video was... It was the clown video, if you know what I'm talking about, Noam, just so that you're informed, Noam.
Yes.
The whole point of the video was that Jake Paul and his girlfriend created a video series where they pretended they were being kidnapped and tortured by clowns. And so again, everyone's a teenager. I'm old enough to know it's fake. You are old enough to know it's fake. But to someone who's 8, something like that happening out of the blue, that's not okay. That they did not a lot of the fans knew it was, thought it was real. They thought it was real, and YouTube was covered in these videos of little kids crying because they were like, "Oh my God, Jake's dead." Oh my God,
because it's their hero.
Yeah, it's imagine if I was gonna say imagine if Martin Luther King was dead, but but okay, imagine your hero just your internet hero, if you even have one, just died. Then that's big. That's pretty
It wasn't even a killing in the video. He faked getting kidnapped by these clowns, and the clowns were wanting ransom. So these kids started collecting money to help Jake, and they were like, "Yo, we need to donate." They made videos saying we need to donate. We need to collect money together so we can get. I don't know how much exactly money it was, but it was a lot of G's.
It was probably in
10 G's, I think.
It was more than a couple thousand, I'm guessing. So I don't even know how that ended, but all I know is people were kind of blown back by that, and they were kind of they didn't take lightly to it. The internet was mad at him.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other examples in the video that Nerd City made, because it's a 47 minute video.
Yeah.
But in that particular part with the clowns, he tried to stress the point that on one hand he's trying to appeal to children's content and make good family friendly content, and on the other hand he's making horror and not safe for work stuff. So where do we draw the line?
I mean, the other half of the time he's showing his girlfriend's bottom openly, where it's
Open
like pretty openly. You can't deny that.
with a G-string.
Yeah, it's like PG-13 type stuff, but you're on a GPG channel.
It's not safe for work.
Yeah, it's not safe for it's.
That's all you can. Really say.
That's basically it. So the Nerd City video ends with them taking over one of Jake Paul's. No, this was hilarious when we watched it. They took over one of his old links, like his old websites.
Domains.
Yeah. A domain is essentially like a website link. So like google.com is a domain. So they took over the domain for one of Jake Paul's old shops, and they took over they put up their own fake clothing line to kind of prove a point that Jake Paul's merch was very like cheap looking, because it was just a JPEG. It was a clip art picture of a goat and then his signature photoshopped over it. So they took a raccoon and they put their signature over it and it said nerd. And they put it in Photoshop and they put it on a shirt and they started selling it. And so that was one of the things. But in the Shane Dawson video, when they're interviewing Jake Paul, they bring up the Nerd City video and Jake responds to it. And
he acts like an idiot.
Yeah, he acts like an idiot. He kind of avoids the question. He changes it and tries to look like the good guy.
But he's not really an idiot. He knows exactly what he was doing, because there's other videos of him in Nerd City says this.
Yes.
There's other videos of him where he knows exactly what he's doing. He says how he's got this business formed around the influencer, and he's getting kids to buy his merch, and he explains it very well in other videos. But in Shane's video, he acts like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he dumbs down.
Influencer business?
What is that? Yeah, he acts stupid, but he's not stupid. We can't say he's smart, because we have very little evidence so he has uploaded like millions of videos. And those millions of videos, there's not a lot of evidence that he's smart. But there is some like big thing of evidence where it is shown moments where he can actually think things out and like plan strategically.
He is smart.
I'm doing like the wavering hand thing, like kind of, but that's a different.
He has a character which isn't smart in his videos, but he's smart.
Yeah, we'll see what we'll that's a whole different discussion. But Nerd City then responds to the Shane Dawson thing with their own like video about it again, and they talk about like how he's being hypocritical in the video. Like in the video he's saying again, he's like, well, I didn't know, but it's like, well, you have a whole nother channel that talks about how you know how to market this.
Jake Paul Business, and there's also a bunch of domain things. So he talks about like he has a bunch of other websites like Jake Paul Business, Jake Paul Clothing, Jake Paul, or no, it's Team 10. Team 10 Clothing, Team 10. Like, he's gotten almost every single domain around his products. So, almost anything you can think of. So, clothing, fashion, makeup, everything. He has a website link, a domain link for it. And he's really, like, spread out to, market his thing big time, which he is doing. He's like strategically set up his thing. He has, one of the Shane Dawson videos, they go to Jake Paul's house and they go through his house and they see everything, and there is an entire section of the house dedicated to all of Jake Paul's merch. So, by doing that, you're kind of flaunting out to your fans like, hey, this is all the stuff you can get if you go to www.team10merchandise.com. There's also this really sketchy video of Jake Paul being on a website. It's called Edfluence. This video, oh my god, it is. Okay, let me give you an explanation of this. You know when you go on a website, like a sketchy website, where you I don't know, pirate a movie.
YouTube video.
Some people do this. I did this one. And you have this ad on the bottom that says "Get money fast." you click on it, it shows you a video of this guy who's like, yo, I made it big.
It looks like a multi-level marketing scheme.
And then he tells you at the end, yo, buy my DVD to understand how I made this money. This is what Jake Paul is doing. He's telling little kids.
For $80.
He gets out of his Lamborghini in this video, goes to his mansion. This is a lot of psychological, like, manipulation stuff.
Because it's showing, like,
and
oh my god,
he tells
so much
them,
money.
You can have this if you buy my my book or whatever it is. It's like a what's it called? It's like course.
Yes, it's an $80 course where he tells you how to make it big on the internet, and
that's every guy's dream. Like every
9-year-old's dream has been that their job is to like be an entertainer of any sort, and a lot of it is YouTube, because YouTube is literally, for like a YouTube entertainer, it starts hard to begin with and then it gets easier, where it's just record something, send it to an editor, they do all the work, and then they upload it. But like that's every kid's dream, to just play video games as a living. So essentially what he said was, here's how you get your dream job as a kid. Like, I know my dream job was to be like to be a YouTube entertainer. I don't know about you.
No, I have no idea what it's like.
Yeah, I've been messing around with YouTube for years now, so I have a very good understanding of what the dream is like, and that's why I've given up on it, basically, in short. But yeah, there was back to like the Nerd City thing. Like that's on the topic of Nerd City, but I want to kind of keep it directly to this. So Nerd City, they've gone after, it's not just Jake Paul, they've gone after other YouTubers. That's again off the point. Damn, we're like by the end basically.
Yeah, there was a lot more said in the first video.
In the first video was 47 minutes. The other one was like
talk about that.
11 minutes. Yeah, we could, because I'm trying to like stick to what I've already wrote down.
What Jake Paul was accused of is making 50% of his content more or less be into advertisement, when Nerd City said that the law in the U.S. is that you can only have 20%, between 17.5% to 20% of your video made into advertisements. Also, you can't have your influencer make the advertisements.
Yes, I remember that. So you can't
because that manipulates kids into buying it just because the person that you're watching says so. And
one of the examples they gave was, they were like, imagine you're watching SpongeBob, and all of a sudden, like, SpongeBob comes on screen and starts advertising, like, for example, Old Spice.
Yeah.
Like, kids are gonna want, he's like, let's say, okay, something more relevant to kids. He starts advertising Blow Pops, right? At that point, kids are gonna be like, oh my god, I want a Blow Pop, because SpongeBob, my idol as a kid, my 9-year-old idol, who is on this pedestal, is telling me, buy Blow Pops. I'm going to want a Blow Pop now, because I want to be like SpongeBob. Besides the round and sponginess, but...
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob's a scary, he's not round.
God. SpongeBob?
just froze there for a second, like, oh no.
SpongeBob, no.
Oh god, SpongeBob Square. It's in his name. It's SpongeBob SquarePants. How did I mess that up? But, yeah, essentially, you can't have your idol openly market a product in the show.
That's U.S. law, yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently it doesn't qualify to Jake Paul.
I mean, YouTube's a whole, desolate land, basically.
But YouTube is becoming more or more televised.
It is. Actually, yeah, it probably is. I think that's what Google's doing with the adpocalypse and everything.
What the problem is, what Nerd City is trying to do, is he's trying to get Jake Paul to stop, because some lawyer is going to come onto YouTube once it becomes more televised, and television is like way behind us, and he's going to say there needs to be stricter rules because of people like this. He's going to point to Jake Paul and say this is manipulative, and then all of the YouTubers on the platform will get punished for it.
Yeah, and it's happened before with the Adpocalypse, which no one really can blame one person on. I mean, people always blame a lot of people. People always blame PewDiePie, but it wasn't just PewDiePie. It was PewDiePie is a big YouTuber. It was a multitude of things on YouTube where I think Google stopped, looked at YouTube, and was like, "This is getting a little out of hand." And then
it was the advertisers. They found their advertisements running on racist videos like a KKK video.
There was
there was a Pepsi video on an ISIS video.
Yes, that's what it was. That was one of the big examples, that there was a Pepsi commercial
and they pulled their advertisements.
Yeah, so like a bunch, like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all this stuff we're pulling off YouTube because they're like, we don't want to deal with that. So ad revenue on YouTube plummeted. This was like 2 years ago.
The same thing can happen here. Some advertiser can see his advertisements on Jake Paul's video and say, no.
Yeah, they can go into Jake Paul's video and they can see like a video of like a clown killing Jake Paul, and they'd be like, oh my god, this is being on there. But then we also mentioned the Logan Paul thing, which I'm guessing was monetized.
No, YouTube did take action for it though.
But remember, it was like a month.
The thing that Jake Paul is doing right now, there's no consequence. Yeah. He can scam, hurt kids' feelings. He can.
Because he's an idol on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't want to do anything about it.
He can break our society's code of censorship when it comes to kids' content, and he's not being punished by YouTube for any of that. He's fully monetized. He doesn't get striked that often.
I mean, actually, you gotta think about it, because essentially YouTube has a different kind of rule besides TV, because TV you can't do a lot of things, but YouTube's like an open space. But because of the new YouTube thing, it's becoming more like kind of like television, where like you're getting censored, like you get your ads pulled for cursing, for saying bad things, for showing bad things, all this stuff. And so a lot of YouTubers are trying to conform to this like no censorship stuff, and people are like, I don't want to do it. So people are kind of pushing back on it, but YouTube's in control. They're gonna.
And there's no problem with YouTube becoming more televised. I'm up for it actually, because that means that YouTube gets more traction. The YouTubers get more recognition.
It means SpongeBob's coming to YouTube.
And but if YouTube is gonna enforce these rules, they have to keep them up and not. It's either all okay or none of it's okay. So Jake Paul can have the advantage of doing all this, and some other influencer doesn't.
Yeah, and
it needs to be fair.
Again, it's kind of like what happened with like today in physics. There was a kid who was late to a test and he failed. He was talking about like how it was unfair and how he was injured, and that's why, and that how he needed a doctor's note. And he was kind of talking to the teacher about like, is it okay if I just redo the test? Like, can I just do the test? And she said, like, if I do it for one person, then it's unfair to all the other people who have been denied that right. So I can't just do it to you. I have to do it to everyone. But at this point, it's too late. So it's kind of like that. You either hit one. You can't just hit one person. You have to go for everyone. But I think that's just about everything. There's not really a lot to cover about it. It was just little speck of YouTube drama. This is essentially like episode 1.2.
Yep.
I mean, there isn't a lot to talk. Again, this is basically just finishing up on the Shane Dawson video, and I think this is going to be the end of it. Jake Paul might hit back.
Maybe.
Yeah, Jake Paul might hit back.
He didn't hit back the first time. He just hit back because Shane Dawson made him.
Yes.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Did we make it clear enough that we're on Nerd City's side?
Yeah. We're on Nerd City's side for this entire thing because...
Yeah, I feel like
we really did. We really did. We kind of...
Yeah, talked all about that.
Yeah. So yeah, to anyone who doesn't know, we are recording this on Halloween, and we're
Mary Chrysler.
It's Halloween, not Christmas.
It's beginning to feel a lot like.
Did you just break the pumpkin? Oh my god! If you don't know, I have a bunch of miniature live pumpkins, and Noam just tore the stem off of one. You monster! Now you're gonna have to carve it. Oh my god! No, don't even. Okay. Well, anyways, I think that's the end of the thing. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.